time on Madness Calls It Forth. A creature stalking the streets of a district called Wildknock pushed the team down a dark path to investigating Celine's grandmother and the true goals of Caliburn Enterprises. Slaying the Rift of the Wendigo meant destroying its heart, and also one of the city's vilest monsters, Morgana Caliburn. But where does that leave Celine and the family's legacy? There are even more dangerous rifts controlling the streets, and that means our team has more pressing issues. Will they follow their destiny? Have they paid attention to their dreams? How well do they remember their premonitions? Prologue. We see a flashback to the night the team faced off against Dr. Crystal Knight, the ambulance swerving through traffic and rushes past a frustrated Graham. He yanks his school books out of his backpack and shoves them in a trash can, breathing heavy. Leaning on the can lid, suddenly an earth-shaking blast ripples across the buildings behind him, and we see him gasp in surprise, breathing in a few mythos-tainted particles of the Snow Queen's glass. And with that, it fades to black.
Are we the baddies? Such a cold heart, cold and removed from everything she was. The Caliburn Empire, our family, its legacy. Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. I feel like she taught me that. Once upon a time. She showed me. She showed me those who can keep a cool head in a crisis are no less emotional, worried, or invested than those who struggle. But one needs to be able to respond with both a cool head and a warm heart. The decisions we make can often be difficult. I'm not heartless. I've just learned how to use my heart less. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. So my next step forward must be one with an open heart, a warm heart. There is no one here anymore to deny me permission, so I will live fully, completely, open to tragedy and mess, sorrow and joy, cold and warmth. I will be strong enough to take the risk and willing enough to care. And I believe that's good.
Times are changing. This is the end of everything, but it's hard to say goodbye. In my dreams, we were meant to be, but everything feels wrong. Just doesn't feel right.
Good evening and welcome to Madness Calls It Forth and TPK Roleplay for our City of Mist campaign based on the Knights of Paynetown. Before we begin, this is a content warning. Knights of Paynetown is a dark, noir-style campaign written by Son of Oak Studio and deals with issues like violence, emotional trauma, death, suicide, among other disturbing themes. This particular episode has warnings for police and gang violence, familial trauma, revenge, delusions, and as is the nature with stories, the campaign has historical, religious, and contemporary allusions that some viewers might find disturbing. Please note that those of us around the virtual table have given our consent to explore these topics together as respectfully as we can. But if you, the viewer, should at any time feel uncomfortable, please make sure to step away, get some air, stretch your legs, and join us again later. For more information on mental health services available to you, use !get help. Tonight's episode is The Streets Bleed Neon. We start the scene at a speakeasy bar with high-end clientele and gorgeous staff known as Hive. Its long, winding corridors lead to various secluded areas where you can get excellent drinks and sometimes some very good food, but mostly privacy. We start the scene with Lexi and Celine. If you want to take it away, Luca, feel free.
Yes. So Celine has actually been very distant from everyone, including Lexi, the last couple of weeks. Everyone could safely assume that it was her pulling away in response to what happened with her grandmother and having to take over the running of things. But she has reached out to Lexi and invited her here for dinner tonight. And upon sitting and acting a little nervous, I have stood up, excused myself to the restroom, and instead of actually going to the restroom, I am tucked away in a side corridor, just muttering to myself. And then obviously anytime anyone passes, just acting like I'm, fixing my hair, checking myself in the mirror of my little compact, and then I will just and then go back to the table and sit down in front of Lexi.
Hey, is everything all right?
That night that you showed up at my flat years ago, you had been drinking. We said some things.
Hey, I'm sorry for...
I should have never let you leave that night. I know you wanted to, but I should have asked you to stay, and I think you wanted me to ask you to stay, but I was scared. I was scared to live life how I wanted. I don't want to say I don't care about anything else, but I care about things a lot less without you around with me there by my side. I'm normally much better at things like this, and I'm gonna fumble and bring out a little tiny jewelry box and just slide it against the table to you. If you are still willing to stay, I want you to stay.
And Lexi is going to, like, reach out and pull the little box towards her and open it.
Lexi, as soon as you open the box, you see
Proper. Fuck off!
you see Celine start to. It looks like at first she's swooning, or like she's having an aneurysm. And Celine, you collapse in your seat, and the moment before you lose consciousness, you feel a burning around your wrist, right where you've placed Excalibur.
Celine? Celine? Waiter! Someone call 911!
We enter Celine's subconsciousness, and we find her in a place that we've seen a couple times before. It is the city, but it looks abandoned. The sky is blood red, and there is broken glass and dust as it rolls through. But this time we see an emanating point of light, rippling like heat waves around this point. Celine, you walk closer and find yourself staring at a figure you recognize. And before you're able to do anything, you hear a voice. You look to your side and see what looks like a young woman with dark skin and big, bold black hair. And she says, "I've been trying to reach out to you, Celine. But right now, we're not here for me. We are here for that, I guess." And you look along the scene and realize that everything seems concentrated to a point, a long line that ends with a taper, as if you are watching this whole scene take place in the reflection of a sword. And you look back to the girl who was speaking to you, and she's no longer there. But the buildings around you curl away from that point of emanating light. And that's when you recognize who it is who is making this this scene. You recognize the vision of Graham as he shapeshifts the city around him with power you've never seen before. And just like that, you find yourself drooling on the edge of a table at Hive.
Embarrassing.
There's a
Yeah.
couple waiters who are over next to you. They have sleek black hair over their shoulders, and one of them you see has a bright tattoo on the back of their neck. But they're all taking care of you, trying to figure out what's wrong with you. And Lexi is... What are you doing, Lexi? How are you panicking?
I have her, like, by the wrist. I don't think Lexi knows anything about checking vitals, but she's, like, trying to do that and desperately remember anything about first aid. Celine? Oh my god.
I'm fine. Thank you.
But and Lexi is immediately, like, looking at her face, doing... She remembers fast, so she's like, "Smile for me."
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, just water, please.
Are you okay?
Lexi, I had vision and Graham was in it.
Graham?
There was a woman saying she was trying to reach me. When was the last time you spoke to Graham?
I saw him earlier today before I headed out to meet you. He said he was on his way to the university.
I think we should go find him. We can, of course, continue this dinner later.
And Lexi, I think, is just gonna lean in, give Celine like a long, deep kiss, pull away, and say, "Yes, of course." And the ring is gonna. It's not like forgotten, but like in the rush of what's going on, it just like goes into a pocket. Because when shit pops off around this group, you don't let things lie fallow.
Before we leave that scene entirely, I'm going to switch over to the Albion. This is the enclave of Calvin Cirrus and the Knights Errant. And we find Father John and Ami with a collection of his knights, his errants, at a newly established castle that they call Camelot. You can tell that the operation has gone a lot larger, and your close friend Ami, Roxy, is there working and tinkering on things. Her automaton has gotten larger and more powerful, and you can tell that Calvin is working towards something big. He is fighting a war against, as he calls him, the Crimson King, and the control that the Crimson King has over the city. What have you been doing in the past few weeks alongside Calvin and Roxy? Either of you, if you want to respond. This is the part where we're going to start doing things, the downtime stuff, so if you have any ideas, feel free to let me know.
Are you asking us or Ami and
I'm
John?
asking Ami and John right now, and I'll ask
Okay.
you in a moment.
Go for it, Father John.
All right. I think Father John is kind of trying to stay focused. He has been writing, like, in his time with the church. He's been doing some of the basic work, and he's still working on his first sermon that he's planning on giving.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't given it yet, and I think he's been distracted by everything outside of those duties. So when he's not at the church, he's here, and I think he's doing the only thing that he thinks that he can do and that he knows what to do. And he's been like training, like physically sparring and like trying to get ideas from like everyone else as to like what they do. Like, he doesn't know nothing about no knights. And so he's just like, look, tell me what to punch, tell me what to jump in front of, and, you know, let's work on that.
Ami, do you have an idea what you've been doing?
Yeah, she would have just kept training, probably with Roxy.
Mm-hmm.
Continuing to kind of get settled in this new little compound, running back and forth probably as needed to her apartment, but probably settling more and more at this new place, at this so-called Camelot.
Ami, one day while you have been training with Roxy and with other knights, You find yourself a little bit weak, and you take a step away from training to get yourself a drink of water. And as you do, you run into a very familiar premonition that the audience has already seen. We get glimpses of it only this time, but we can tell from what we see that it's exactly the same. And when you awake, Calvin is right at your side and helps you up off the ground. Do you tell him what you've seen?
It is the same premonition that Celine has seen?
Correct.
I probably would.
Okay.
If him and Roxy were around, or if there were people that I kind of felt a little bit closer to, yeah.
Okay. He looks at you a little puzzled for a bit, but quickly a realization dawns on him. You understand what this premonition means, don't you, Ami?
No.
Well, after you and your team have slain the questing beast, I see it the god has seen fit to show me the location of my super weapon. Something that can take down the Crimson King for good. Oh, who knew it would come so quickly?
Wait, is the weapon a person?
But of course.
Oh, shit.
A
Alright.
rift that has the power to change the world around him, even push the mist away. What imaginable power this rift would have. We must be looking for him soon. I'm sure his powers are only beginning to flourish. But if we can convince him to join our quest, we could take down the Crimson King once and for all. You've been doing some very good work. You too, Father John. I know that you are impenetrable to death. We'll need that in a fight against the Crimson King. Ugh. After so many years, it's good to see that my plans are finally coming to fruition.
That's some awfully nice monologuing there. No awkward feelings about that whatsoever.
You understand, don't you? That man is pure poison on this city. He took my daughter away from me, and now I have the chance to make things right. Haven't you felt it all around us? Everyone is tense and tight. They're fighting, and pain is all that we feel these days. Don't you wish for a time when that wasn't what controlled every waking minute of every hour? Sure, you may think you are doomed, that you are cursed with this never-ending life. He has the Holy Grail at his disposal. He can come back again and again, and he wreaks chaos and anger and frustration wherever he goes. Misery loves company, and madness calls it forth. I'm telling you, this is our chance to take down the kingpin that controls the city.
I mean, I've been worried with how the city is now, but like my biggest worry is what happens after.
What happens after? So we can live our lives again. Sure, the mist will still be here, and I'm sure there will be greater powers that are still trying to control us, but from this day forward, we have the chance to change everything.
I ain't no leader, so whatever happens, we'll figure it out as we go. That's just the way I kind of roll. So,
Obviously, there's a lot of people in the way, though, that will want to keep the status quo. They're going to try to prevent Albion And I think we have amassed enough strength in our numbers that with patience we might be able to just do it this one time. I'm going to rally the troops. Father John, how much do you know about those who are controlling the city? Beyond the Crimson King?
I mean, are we talking like organized crime? Are we talking about corrupt police force? What are we talking about?
Well, the police are certainly in on it, even if they don't know. But I'm talking about a more insidious power. I don't have a good name for them. They are the ones who control the mist. They have power immeasurable, and they make the ones who are not like us forget. They want things to stay the same, and they have power over the mist that no one else has. I know the mist is still a mystery to most of us, but I'm warning you that it'll be more than just a sleep police. I think that we are but a gang raging war on the city. We are raging war on what it means to be miserable in this city. I just wanted to give you that warning before we begin. I have some research to do, so Albion expands, and with it comes liberation.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just an old guy that can't die. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so.
As we see this scene fade, and our protagonists a little more worried about the intentions of Calvin Cirrus, we fade back in on Lexi and Celine attempting to leave the hive. They are lost in a maze of tunnels and rooms, and they actually walk into the kitchen at one point, and the staff on hand seems unlikely to assist them. What are you doing, you two?
You say we're lost. Does it seem paranormally lost?
You can certainly investigate if you like.
I would love to.
How are you doing that?
I would like to investigate. Hold on. Let me pull up.
I
the
believe
thing.
the term is get sassy with the mists.
Yes, that's it.
I would like to speak to the mist manager.
Are you looking beyond the mist?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try. I feel like I would suspect that at least a little bit of it is because I just passed out and had a vision. But I feel like after wandering out for a little bit, I'm gonna start to wonder what's actually going on here.
Sure. If you would like to roll investigate for me for the move looking beyond the mist, which I always get wrong, so I'm going to look it up this time. Look beyond the mist. You will... when you reach inside to get in touch with your mythos, you can feel the truth behind things without even knowing how. Play it out like the investigate move, but roll plus mythos instead. On a hit, you get clues equal to the number of mythos you have.
Oh, 13?
Excellent! You get a clue about the surrounding. Do you have any specific questions?
Yeah, who is controlling this?
As you walk back out of the kitchen, you see something that as you tap into your mythos. Your wrist begins to burn again as it feels like Excalibur is trying to warn you of something. And as the burning subsides this time, one of the staff members walks in on you. I'm sorry, can I help you?
I'm gonna just kind of move, like, very close to Lexi, like, kind of in a step back. Hopefully signifying to her my unease and get her with her guard up. And just, yes, we're looking for the way out.
I can provide a way out. And as he says that, a girl walks in behind you two, and the two waiters make eye contact and nod very almost imperceptibly. And it's when they turn to look at the other staff member that you see what looks like a thin, clawed creature grabbing onto the waiter's back and feeding on their neck. It glimmers in and out of shot just as you see it, but you feel that there is something more to these individuals than just expensive speakeasy waiters.
I'm gonna put a hand on Lexi's shoulder, staring at that, so that hopefully if she doesn't see it, she can follow my gaze.
Do I see it as well?
You're not investigating, you're not looking beyond the mist, so you do not see it. You might see the tattoo that's on all of their necks, but you don't see a creature of any kind.
The tattoo?
There's something on their backs. A creature.
That would prompt me to open myself up to the mists. If I want to do that, should I also roll and investigate, or can I see what she sees with that prompting?
I'll say you can see it. But if you want to
Yeah,
roll
we
for it,
get
I
that.
can give you more clues based on what you are picking up now.
Sure. And that's an investigate?
Investigate plus mythos.
Plus mythos. Reset. Oh, I may have hit the button prematurely.
Do whatever you need. Roll again if you want to.
Oh. Okay. That's a 9. Oh.
Okay. On a mixed success, you get fuzzy clues or you expose yourself to danger. Feel free to ask your question or questions.
Yeah, what, how are these things vulnerable? What vulnerabilities do they have?
This creature is attached to the neck of the person in front of you. While you can't be sure what that means for the person, the host, you can tell that this parasite needs that thing to survive, probably. And as you piece this together, suddenly the waiter behind you grabs Celine by the neck and drags her back against the wall. And you can see this clear as day. This creature, this waiter now has big fangs as it tries to sink its teeth into Celine's neck.
Is this a face danger, or can I hit with all I've got here?
I'm going to ask Celine to face danger, and if you want to strike back against one or the other, I will
Okay.
ask you to roll that separately. But
Cool.
first narrate how you're going to do it, as opposed to just rolling with it, okay? Celine, are you fighting back against this creature at your neck?
Yeah, so I feel like the moment my bracelet started like burning, I would have been itching to like extend it into some sort of blade or something. So I would have absolutely, the moment being grabbed, I would have been trying to like slice out in defense.
Great. I'm first going to ask you to please roll to face danger.
Yep. 14.
Damn, look at you go. On a 10 plus, you fend off the effect and take no status at all. So as this thing tries to bite into you, you escape as if you've done this dozens and dozens of times, which, knowing Celine, perhaps you have.
I have taken my fair share of self-defense classes as heir to the Caliburn Empire.
You can certainly strike back, but I'm going to ask Lexi what she's doing first.
I'm gonna grab this waiter by the creature and attempt to like throw them down the hall while holding on to the critter.
Okay. You're first going to have to attempt to catch or pry this thing off of its neck. So feel free to roll hit with all you've got in order to inflict a status on it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that seems reasonable. Okay. Boom. Hitting with all I've got. 10. So I get a tier 2 status. And I want to get them good. And gain the upper hand. So it's going to be a tier 3 status of like, what's stronger than grabbed?
Caught?
Caught. Yeah, caught.
So what status?
Clenched even.
What tier is that again?
3.
Excellent. Since you've maxed out his catch spectrum, you wrench this creature off the back of the waiter, who immediately falls to the ground, and you see this disgusting, decrepit, like just wrinkled, shriveled vampire humanoid form, and it bares its teeth at you and hisses at you with all its strength. What do you do, Celine?
I am going to try my best to just slice its head off. Right,
Okay.
like through where the creature is. Like, I want to do both of them in.
I'm sorry, what do you mean do both of them in?
The creature and the person.
Host
like,
is
I
on
just
the
wanna-
ground. Creature is standing above it.
Oh, the creatures. I thought it was like the host that was transforming all vampire. Like, yeah, then absolutely I'm going to just take off its head.
Cool. You know what to do.
Okay. Just face danger. 10.
Excellent. And let me know what tier status you give it, and we'll work from there.
Read the hit with all you've got instead.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me.
And you get to choose 3, I believe, because... I
Choose
2.
accidentally hit it again. Okay, so with a 10, I get them good, so a tier...
3.
I would like to say,
4.
like, essentially garroted, but like with my blade.
Okay.
Like maybe I didn't get them all the way through.
No. You 100% just lob its head off.
Okay, I wasn't sure how successful I was, so yeah,
You're
lop
good.
its head off.
No worries.
Decaffeinated.
That's why I
Decaffeinated.
asked you for the tier, because then I can narrate what happens with that. Yes,
Yes.
you decapitate this thing, and like an ooze of what's the old-fashioned term for it? The humors had like a bilious, bloody mass pools out of this thing's neck as it falls to the ground. You can tell that the human host is unconscious, And as you do, Lexi, something tries to fire. You hear just seconds before it happens a gun shot going off, and then ask you once again to face danger.
Okay.
And feel free to let
would
me
you
know.
say that it's a little bit damper here? Like, did that blood kind of get all over me?
We could say that. You're underground.
Great. Cool. So yeah, I'll face danger.
And let me know what tags you're using to make it more colorful.
Oh, I should have taken off Death on Two Legs, but it still would have been a 10. So it was Death on Two Legs, better in damp conditions, terrifyingly calculated, and always watching our backs.
Excellent.
Yeah, so somebody was gonna shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I tackle myself and Celine. It's just like that. I think even more specifically what it is Grendel's mother is like working in tandem with me, so it's like I have eyes in the back of my head. She puts a hand to my shoulder, like kind of backwards, and pushes me away, and then I use that momentum to like leap forward and pull Celine to the wall.
Sounds good to me. What did you roll?
That's a 10.
Excellent. As Celine, you don't have as fast reflexes as your fiance, but you hear a gunshot go off, and before you realize it, you are pinned against a wall and can see the now smoking gun of the waiter behind you. In that moment, though, let me find this. Hold on. A figure appears from one of the hallways, and they are wearing an all-white cloak. They have huge black goggles on, and several weapons which you do not recognize. And in an instant, they pull in what you assume to be something like a stun stick, and the shriveled vampire on the back of the waiter behind you crumples to the ground, and so does its host. Now that you can finally see who it is, there is a woman in this outfit, this getup, with a short bob of black hair, and she turns to you quickly and says, "You're in danger, get out of here. That way." And directs you toward an exit you somehow had missed before.
Lexi, while we're here, Van Helsing?
Who? No, God, no. Please. Let's move on.
Legging it.
Okay, running.
As you pass this stranger, both of you have an instant where your brain seems to go fuzzy, as if you've forgotten everything in the past year. And as soon as you pass this person, it all comes back. But you can tell that whatever this person has is some very strong magic. You're not sure. And you run up the stairs of the speakeasy and make it out onto the street. And by the time you get there, she is gone. With that, I'd like to ask, what have the two of you been doing in the last few weeks? And how are you reacting after this close call with potential death? This is your time to do downtime activities. Downtown.
I have been I've been taking over the Empire. There's a lot of logistical things, administrative things that need attending, sorting out, new procedures, processes, everything like that. But in my downtime, I have been embracing emotion and love and planning the proposal and getting things ready so that I've hired a little team so that the moment Lexi decided that, started making decisions of what she wanted for the wedding, they'd be ready to spring into action, and just getting everything set up that way. And I've been trying to just address my secret pain by trying to not allow my heart to grow cold and become a baddie, but to embrace the warmth.
Where does that leave you on your wounded spectrum?
Mechanically, I don't know how many more things.
It's a tier each time you do this, so.
Then I would be up at 3.
So you're wounded 3 right now?
Healed at 3. What do you mean?
Yeah, it's same thing.
Okay.
So
They go
you
in
move
verse.
down, wounded, from 6 down to 1, and you move
Okay.
healed up the same amount. So basically, by the time you get to 0 on wounded, you'll have a 6 in healed.
Okay.
Excellent. So, Lexi, you, I assume, have had no idea this was coming. What have you been doing?
No, I think if I can hand you a rake to let me step on later, I think
I just ruined the proposal scene, so I think you can feel free.
I mean, no, I'm giving you ammunition.
Oh, okay, good. Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
no, I'm fucking my own shit up. I think that I told Graham about his dad, and probably about that whole situation, and alluded to Ami.
Okay.
I don't think I named Ami, but like I probably said like, and you have a half sister. But I don't think the conversation went beyond that, because there was like, you seem like you need some space, so I'm gonna give you that. And I think that was maybe like a couple days ago. And it's been weird. But tick down, tick up. So
mechanically, that's also working on your secret pain, or what?
it sure is.
Where are you at?
I'm at wounded 1, healed 5.
Ooh, hell yes! Look at you go. So, Celine, you still have a few things to work through, I guess, but we'll get there eventually.
I made some slow progress at first. I was very, set in my ways, not feeling free to be myself. We're getting there.
I need to know something important. I'm going to take a quick break after this, but I want to know, where are you heading next?
I will, upon getting up to the street, seeing that the person's gone, I will absolutely look at Lexi and we need to get to Graham.
Yeah. And Lexi's going to call him on her Nokia brick.
Interesting. Okay. You ring up who? His cell phone or the mirror?
My words were that he was headed to the university, so I think I call his cell phone.
Okay. It rings, and it rings, and it rings, and you finally get Grimm's voicemail. But as you begin to give a voicemail, the connection seems to crackle and pop, and for a brief second it sounds like you are, you hear yourself echoed back in the voicemail as if you are a radio operator in the 1920s, and then altogether it cuts out completely.
I think the mist is closing around him. Something went wrong.
It's fine.
I text him anyway,
Mm-hmm.
just in case, and then I say, last place he was supposed to be is the university. Let's go there.
Absolutely.
We switch back to Camelot, to the Albion, and we see, as the scene settles in, that slowly more and more of the city are starting to turn into a pastoral, Arthurian legend sort of medieval England kind of look, as more and more buildings slowly get covered in vines, and the fields of Albion in Wildknock Whitecliff slowly grow. We see at the center of it all, Camelot, a building that used to be, if you can see past the glimpses in the mist, used to be Precinct 63. And in a almost war-style view, we look over the stone wall that surrounds the Albion and see on the other side the road that has turned to clay slowly morphs back into a modern-day road and ascends up over Calman Bridge towards downtown. And on the other side of Calman Bridge, we see as the scene opens up, an array of police officers, SWAT teams, black helicopters, and a line of individuals across the bridge in long white coats with strange weapons and thick black goggles. One of them pulls out what looks like a mace, but electricity crackles around its edge, and wherever it lands, you see a force that you assume to be the mist ripple away and crack around it. And Ami and Father John are there at the front of the steps down into Albion in Camelot, surrounded by the errants. And just as that scene finishes, we see somewhere else in the Albion. It is a street across from the Mere. We watch kind of a replay as Lexi departs from the Mere, and Graham supposedly is beginning his trek to the university. When he looks over to a wall that we've seen last week, that it was old and decaying and falling apart. There was graffiti on the wall as it slowly rebuilds itself on its way towards the Mere. And as Graham takes a step in the direction of Albion, the mist ripples around him in a way that he is not familiar with. And he begins to awaken as Merlin. We will see you all very shortly. Hello, and welcome back to TPK Roleplay for the penultimate episode of Madness Calls It Forth, where I'm suddenly wondering if I'm using the word penultimate right. I think I am. Last we left our adventurers on the battlefield against the gatekeepers and the police. We had Ami and Father John, and quickly escaping Hive, Celine, and Lexi. You all have very similar names. It's very annoying to remember all your names. Nonetheless, where are you two? I believe you two said you were heading towards the university, Celine and Lexi.
Correct.
Yeah, like immediately.
We will start the scene as you are leaving the the university, having been told that Graham never made it to class today.
Where would he go?
We have not talked about Graham on this show enough for me to have an answer to that besides the mirror.
I mean, you know, out of character, that's probably a okay thing to say.
Yeah, just then we go to the mirror, and if he's not there, then I don't know.
I mean, this is also in character. What do you think? How has Lexi been now that she's left the mirror these past few months?
Weirdly, I think it has meant that, like, she doesn't... Because she's less focused on everyone, she can give more of her attention to, you know, the people who are closest. So I think it has meant that she's been more available, if effervescent is the wrong word, but, like, ethereal around other people, around this group and Graham. So I think she's been trying to help Graham and be with him, especially after they pulled him out of a cult. It's just we haven't looked at that in detail in any way, so it's like...
I think you know from, you know, raising Graham your entire life that he, as much as you've tried your best to keep him out of danger, out of your family business, that he seems to keep getting sucked back in. He's looking for somewhere to fit in, and try as he might, he has failed again and again and again. He is a bit lost, he is vulnerable, and as much as you connect with him as his mother, I think after revealing to him that the, you know, secrets about his father and whatnot, he felt just as distant as he's ever felt before. And it may have been a week or two before the two of you really talked again. But he's settling in and working at the Mirror and going back to university, and you can tell that, like, I don't want to say he has an addictive personality, but like he's one of those people that just needs something to stick to, something to fit in with, and he struggled with that for the past few weeks. And as the two of you head off towards the Mirror, Ami, we see you back in Camelot approached by Calvin Cirrus. Ami, I need your assistance, and I know that you have some intuition about things happening around the city. I need you to help me find my weapon against the Crimson King. A reality shifter like we've never seen before. I know that I'm in some way tied to the story of King Arthur, as many of us are tied to stories. I am looking for my Merlin, and I think the premonition you had earlier might be that connection. Can you direct me towards this new rift? He might be the key we need to finally overthrow him.
Ami will sit quietly for a moment, just to hear kind of his speech or whatever.
Really enjoying my villain monologues right now,
yeah.
so...
And What do you plan on doing with him? This weapon.
I call him a weapon, and I shouldn't. But if the prophecies and the myths are to be believed, a rift of Merlin might be enough to shift the balance in my war with the Crimson King. Sure, he may have the ability to control. You understand, the king must have control over people through their pain, through their misery. But a reality-bending rift could mean the end of his control of the city, his deep personal connection with its citizens, and all I need to do is get past the gatekeepers and the police and to his domain to bring him down once and for all, so he can stop inflicting pain on others.
Okay. Does he survive this in your mind? This sounds like a big task.
This is it, you see, Ami. He has control over something we call the Holy Grail. With it, its water, he can come back to life innumerable times, and it is how he keeps evading me. But if we can get hold of that Grail, then perhaps he will die once and for all. And we can have control over the Holy Grail.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of answered the question. Like, kind of. Like, we're gonna lose this version of him, is what you're telling me. We're gonna have to kill off this version for him to come back as a new...
Yes, but if he doesn't have the Grail, he cannot come back. This is why Merlin's magic is so important. If we can take back the Grail, he will have no power to lean on. I wish to see him gone for good, Ami.
Okay.
If you want, there's no such thing as a vibe check here,
Yeah.
but you can investigate if you like to piece together some clues you've picked up from other cases.
Yeah. I will, vibe check.
Roll to investigate using any kind of intuition or premonition moves you have available, or a power tag you have available to you.
Yeah.
I think you
will-
also have a +2 from chat.
Sweet. Thanks.
Thanks for calling it out, Vermin. Oh, someone also donated earlier. Did someone see that? I can get a chance to see it.
Hunter gave 100 bits.
Excellent. So I forget. 100 is
Technically
usually a heal,
speaking,
usually,
it's
right?
a heal of
Healing,
some kind.
yep.
Okay.
Healing.
Great success.
Okay. How many power tags do you use?
3.
You have 3 clues you can ask me about Calvin Sirius as a person or on his plan as a whole.
Yeah, well, I want to see if he's being honest about the ability for Graham to come back.
What do you mean back?
Like, if this idea of if Graham has the Grail, that there's like a reincarnation that can happen.
Oh,
That's
sorry
what
if I
it
wasn't being
sounds
clear
like.
with the pronouns there.
Okay.
It is... Why can I not remember his name?
Corbin?
Corbin?
Corbin Payne. Corbin Payne comes back using the Grail. And that's why he's survived for so long. And he is trying to kill Corbin Payne by taking away the Grail so that Corbin Payne cannot be reincarnated. So it's not asking... So he wants... Merlin or Graham is not going to die. He does not plan for Graham to die.
Check. Okay.
I won't cut that as a clue because that's something I should have clarified in dialogue.
I might have misunderstood it.
No worries.
And then, so I guess, can I hold my questions?
Sure.
I need to think of questions. This is the hardest part of this game, is when I have to think of questions on the spot.
I can also give you important things if you want to let me take control.
Yeah, go for it.
So, what you've pieced together between your investigations of Calvin Cirrus, also known as Vince Beaumont, and Corbin Payne, is that for those most affected by Corbin's dolorous stroke, the one that you in fact have been inflicted upon yourself, he controls others by forcing them to cause misery for others. And he comes back using the power of the Grail to reincarnate himself whenever he dies. But so does Vince Beaumont. He's currently known as Calvin Cirrus, but in the past has died and fought with the Crimson King again and again and again. He has told you this in the past, and his very first iteration, known as Vince Beaumont, lost his daughter to the Crimson King, which is like spurned on his war against Corbin Payne. So I've mentioned this clue in the past to the team, and so this is why I'm telling you you would know this. You believe that by curing Corbin Payne, you can cure his Grail Knights and yourself, Chrissy. You're not sure what killing him would do. Okay. And so we return to the scene. So, will you help me, Ami?
Yeah.
If not me,
I mean,
can you convince this young man to join our cause?
I'll talk to him.
If you
That's
can
what you're
find
saying.
him, talk to him. Help him see the good that we can do. And let him know that his pain and suffering will be gone as soon as we can take down the Crimson King.
Yeah, I'll get to work on that. And she will get up and walk away.
Okay. We shift back to Lexi and Celine as they approach the mirror and find themselves approaching a large stone wall. As it slowly encroaches on the city, you see several police cars rushing past you up towards Kelman Bridge, and the way towards the mirror is blocked.
Do I recognize this wall as the wall from Beforeman? Okay.
I would say you can probably piece it together. That from where you've seen the old wall, it looks like it's been extended around the corner of your part of the city.
This isn't normally here.
I will uncharacteristically just start giggling at that. Like, Really?
Shocking! Who could have seen that one coming?
Fuck it. Let me state the obvious for a minute.
In fact, I am just gonna like kind of give into the stress and just start like doing the like I can't stop giggling thing for a couple minutes. I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I know. It's very stressful right now. Just give me a second.
Stand clear.
Okay.
And I'm gonna punch a hole in this wall with my body.
If you could change the game for me, that would be most appropriate for this particular move.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I'll pick up some. Well, Bump and bump. Yeah, I'm looking for a weak spot in the wall, and I'm just gonna try and push myself through it.
Okay.
So, change the game. That's a 15.
Okay, that works.
I'm gonna create a story tag called Hole in the Wall.
Shocking! Wow. Beautiful. If you want to reinforce that with any extra juice that you have from this roll, feel free, and I'll say that it's a permanent hole.
Yeah. I think I'll.
Especially if you're using any of your mythos tags, then we can say that you've broken through the wall and made it a permanent hole.
Yeah, I'm using some mythos tags. I think specifically it's like, I can make it hidden to other people. Does that feel good?
If that's what you want to say.
Secret hole in the wall for
secret
3
tunnel.
juice.
We will say that for sleepers, they're not going to notice this wall has a hole, and more powerful rifts might be able to see through the hole is there, but otherwise it is hidden to others. Does that feel unfair?
Yeah, that sounds good. I think what this looks like though is like we're looking at Celine as she's laughing, and she kind of turns her back for a second, and then Lexi does the thing of just like running across in the background, and just like a huge like wrecking ball sound as she punches through the wall with her shoulder down.
Celine, do you respond to this at all, or is this totally normal?
I'm still doing the whole. I'm sorry. Okay, good. We can get through the. Okay, and her showing this level of strength is absolutely normal at this point. So, I will just kind of like brush any brick dust off of myself and get ready to step through.
And the making it secret again, I just put like a piece of like corrugated iron on the far side of the wall, and it like blends in on the outside.
As you do that, you see that a envoy of police cars started to line up along the road between the curtain of mist that is that wall.
That's not good.
And as you step into the spot where the mirror should be, you find yourself instead in a pastoral English countryside, thatched roofs and all. And there seems to be someone is assembling an army on this side of the wall. In the distance, you can even see trebuchets being lined up.
What is happening?
Beats the ever-loving shit out of me.
The buildings are still here, though. Can we see the mirror?
Can I do something, GM?
Mm-hmm.
Look at the buildings. Look at your clothes. And I think, well, I'll speak for Lexi. Her suit has transformed into an extremely stylized, like, chainmail and breastplate sort of situation. And if she was wearing a tie before, it's like a favor pinned to her. And like the she has heraldry now, but it's tattered and like you can't make out what the sigil should be.
Absolutely. Celine, before you explain what you look like, we talked about this during the break, and I'll say the right word this time. You've said that your mythos sometimes presents itself like a stand, and so Celine, you can see the sea wolf of Lexi's mythos kind of standing behind her. Sort of like a mirage, but it's definitely more prominent here. You can tell that the mist here is very thin. Celine, what do you look like now that you've stepped into the Albion?
I would think that the clothes I was wearing take on a more simplistic view, and there is now almost a kind of leather breastplate kind of worn over. Like I had a leather jacket on, and it is now more of a breastplate over my chest. And my bracelet is definitely, without even thinking about it, I think I extended it, or it happened on its own, into a long blade.
Excellent. Sorry, you were going to ask something before Vermin stepped in there. What were you going to ask?
Oh, yeah. So are the buildings all the same, and can we see the mirror?
So the buildings look different, but you can tell that it's, again, sort of Mirage style. The mirror is still there. It just has taken on the appearance of being a part of Albion.
I feel like I will look at Lexi and just kind of nod towards that direction and start walking. Sticking my mind to the task.
Sorry, we're having conversations in chat while discussing this. I do thoroughly enjoy what Vermin has added to the conversation, but it does mean that we should talk about Ami and Job when we get back to them. I'll give you a clue real quick here, Lexi, as well. Where you find yourself at the mirror, you can see that even in this altered state, things seem wrong. There are flowers and trees, and one of the trees is legit twisted and turned on its side, like it grew up and then straight to the right. As if something around here has transformed the world, has shifted reality in some way. And in a long stroke on the bark of this tree, you can see a glimmer of iridescence that, like a scar with some blood dribbling through. You see iridescent streak in this tree, and similar scratches in the world around you. It seems pretty localized, so you could probably follow these further into Albion.
That would be like Lexi. The presence behind Lexi, I think, does this thing, especially in this like altered, especially misty or less misty place of like
Less.
It turns into a hunting dog. And she starts like looking at things and sharing things with it, and they start following the trail.
Excellent. John, it's been a few scenes since we've had any interaction with you, and I'm sorry about that. Are you just preparing for battle?
Yeah, I think he's kind of noticing the line of cops and is just kind of confused and like, am I gonna have to punch a cop today? Is that what this is gonna turn out to be? But okay. And
You see that Roxy is beside you, and actually, Roxy turns to you and says, "Well, according to Calvin, the police force is simply a servant of the Crimson King."
and not innocent people being under the guise and control of the Crimson King.
Well, that too.
So I've got to punch someone who's doing this against their will.
Not against their will, but they believe it. Here the mist is thin. We don't forget as easily. There, the mist controls the unawakened.
So again, they're not under their own control. They're being persuaded against their will to do this.
I guess so.
So that's chess. That's not war. It's not even chess. It's checkers at this point. And for God's sakes, are we all doing this on our own free will as well, or does Calvin have a few people in the same predicament as the officers on the other side? What exactly is going on here?
Well, at this point, they want us dead too. And even if that seems out of proportion, the mist makes them believe it. They see us as a warring faction against the good people of the city, when in reality, maybe we're the only ones who can see it right. They want to take us out. And even if we want to defend our right to see the city as it should be, they are in the way. I mean, hell, they're corrupt as fuck. But I mean, you're right. The sleepers of the city don't know what this all means to us. They don't know about the Crimson King and his ways, but they are under his influence as well, just as we all are. And to get to him, to get to the Crimson King, we need to get through his lackeys. Fine, don't kill them.
Yeah,
But
you got a non-lethal setting on your giant robot?
sorry, I don't see it the same way as you do, Father.
No, is that you talking? Or is that Calvin talking?
Do you want to investigate for me?
Yeah. Is this going to be just an investigate or see through the mist?
Depends how you want to do it.
I guess I'll try to see through the mist and just focus on if Payne has his own like tendrils in the control of his minions. Is it the same with this guy?
Interesting.
So that's plus mythos.
Correct.
All right. That's a 7, mild success.
Mild success. You still get to ask me a question, but it puts you in danger, or you get hazy results.
I think it's pretty much that question. If Corbin Payne is controlling people through his power with the mist, like even just controlling sleepers, is it the same on this side as well, where there are just people who are innocent or unaware of exactly what they're being made to do?
Maybe this isn't a revelation for you as a player, but perhaps it is. You piece something together important. That asking about if Corbin Payne is controlling others. No, he's not literally controlling people. He is using his powers of pain and misery to make others fight with each other. And that sounds familiar to you. That sounds like a Grail Knight. That sounds like the Dolorous Stroke has control over Vince Beaumont.
And Vince Beaumont is Arthur.
It's Calvin Cirrus.
Wait. Right, so I'm confused with names.
This is I
Arthur
promise
is Vince is Cirrus.
Vince
So
Beaumont is the
Arthur
is the original
is
Arthur. Yes.
Dolorous.
Okay.
He has been Strake, if you will.
He's been strict.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say he's been stroked.
No.
I didn't
So
say that.
I'll go ahead and just kind of put it that way. It's like, so if Corbin Ellis is all he's wanting to do is use his influence over the city to cause strife, to cause people to take arms against each other, who the hell is saying that this isn't part of his plan? Who the hell is to say that he doesn't have that influence over his own enemies because that's just what he wants? If he wants ruin and destruction, he's not trying to win, he's trying to war. And what do you think this is turning out to be?
This is turning out to be the closest we've ever gotten to taking down the king for sure.
Or is the closest to the king to getting what he wants?
What does the king want?
This. Strife. Anger, fighting against each other. What says that more than a fucking battlefield? You can dress it up like the trenches of World War I, or you can make it look like some friggin', orcs versus Gondor bullshit that this is supposed to look like. War is war, and war is what the Crimson King wants and strives for.
Have we established what Father John looks like in this landscape?
No, what does he look like? Roxy looks something akin to a blacksmith, with grease on her face and on her hands, and she has thick gloves and even a bit of armor. But Father John, what do you look like in Albion?
So I'm gonna say, when he first posed the question, he was in like friar type robes, like the brown robes with like the rope.
Mm-hmm.
But like as he started like asking questions and looking into it, the robes turned kind of a darker color. The rope turned into a leather belt. The ragged cloth shoes that were around his feet turned into loafers. And the more he's like just seeing through this bullshit, he is transformed back into his normal attire.
It's an interesting way to put it. I like that.
So he's standing in front of like this, he's turned modern again.
What do you do?
You ever see, what was it? War Games. Classic movie. Come on, tell me. Have you seen it?
She's like 10.
I don't think so.
Nuclear war. The AI is set up. It's nuclear war. It asks the people, like, when you play the game, this is what it comes down to. It comes down to nuclear war. So, what is the only winning move when it comes to playing this game?
Being the first to strike.
the first to strike a nuclear war? Incorrect. My friend, you gotta get this movie. If we make it through this, I'll bring the popcorn. But the winning move, the only winning move, is not to play.
Sounds counterproductive.
Not when total destruction is the goal of only one person, and that's the only way that the game ends when you play it. If one person wants total destruction, and either side launching the nukes first is going to happen, that's what's going to happen. Total destruction.
Okay, John. Do you stay or do you leave?
I'm gonna say that and walk away and look for Ami.
Okay. Speaking of which, Ami, you are walking through Albion looking for Graham. You only know you're looking for Graham because of your premonition. But you're not entirely sure what you're going to find. You find yourself walking down the path between fields and army, and find yourself approaching ripples in the air, like heat waves in the desert, and a man approaching you from the distance. Ami, what do you look like in the Albion? I keep saying the Albion, but in Albion.
She would probably be in whatever would be akin to like some sort of like wizard robe. Like she would not be necessarily in battle gear at all. I would probably venture to say darker colors. She would have her big stick on her back, or in her hand as a walking stick. But not super. You couldn't pick her out of a crowd probably if you tried.
Okay. She's blending in. A big cloak and a big stick. What do you say as you approach Graham for the this time?
Graham. Right?
It's Ami, right? What are you doing here?
To be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, I feel like I'm changed. And you look at Graham, he looks kind of like John said, he looks totally modern at this point. He has not yet fully stepped into Albion and transformed his looks. But he holds out his hands, and you can see radiating power from them. In one instant, on one side of him, he grows a bushel of flowers, all the way through growth and then to decay again. And you watch as the ground absorbs the plant matter up once again. On the other side, you see as he twists the branches of a tree in and around itself, and the colors display in shades that are not naturally found in nature, before twisting back and folding back in on themselves. He's slowly shifting reality around him as he slowly learns to deal with his powers. What do you think it means?
Well, I think it means a lot. And I'm gonna be real honest with you, kid. Couple of things. One, we should probably have this conversation somewhere a little bit less out in the open. Like, can you make us a hut or a cave, or can you?
As soon
do
as you
that?
say cave, The stone wall that runs along the Albion shifts completely. You are in a deep, dark cave with with a fire lit beneath you, and in the distance you can see the cave entrance. But as if, as soon as you said that, he transformed the world around him to make it appropriate for the conversation you want to have.
That's a hell of a party trick. You're really gonna blow folks away at parties. We gotta talk, I think. There's a bunch of people looking for you. You realize that, right? Like, a lot of people. Your mother, probably. Our friends, probably. The guy Calvin, he's looking for you. I'm assuming the guy across the pond, I don't know if you caught wind of that guy over there. The point is that you've got a big old bullseye on your back.
What does that mean for me? Are they scared of me?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have an ability to really change how any of this is about to go. And she will kind of like gesture kind of like broadly, hoping that he understands or had caught a sight of like the police against the back, you know what I mean? Like hoping he had seen kind of some of that.
I'll say that he hasn't, but you're welcome to tell him or show him in some way.
Yeah, so I will, I'll go, yeah, I'm not the best with words, so maybe I could just show you. And I will attempt to use, similar to what I did in the alleyway, my powers to kind of like move Graham through space-time, and give him a vision of some type.
Sure. As soon as you two connect, it's like unlocking power that you could only imagine to have, Ami. He's vulnerable and open to talking with you, and so as soon as you think about what you want to do, he can see it the same as you. And it feels clearer than most of your premonitions have been so far, as if you are experiencing it firsthand. What do you show him?
Well, I would essentially probably move him through Albion, like, so he could get a big view of the, like, metal Trojan horse that we have, and then across to the other side to show him that there are two dueling forces. I don't think I would move to show him like anything. I wouldn't like try to point out like a Crimson King or anything like that, just that there was like impending war.
What side are you on, Ami?
Yeah, that's a good question, Graham. And I'm really not sure I have an answer. What I can say is that both sides are pretty trash, Like, it's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I guess I'm kind of on my own side. And my own side mostly is to figure out how we can get rid of this Crimson King guy without, maybe a whole city burning in the process. But
who is the Crimson King?
Oh, yeah. So, well, this guy, and I'm gonna point to my stick that's like dripping blood. Call that a gift. There's a guy on the other side, not the side we're sitting on, on the other side with the police. Anyways, not so great. Everybody's just real sad, Graham. Me included, I think.
Tell me about it. What do you want me to do?
I mean, it's your life. But I'll say this. I mean, it'd be pretty cool to do it with my brother.
So you're... She didn't tell me who you were.
Yeah, you know, maybe it's like a hereditary thing to not be like good with words. Must come from maybe my dad's side. I don't know. Maybe she just vicariously. I have no idea, dude. I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know.
I feel like will this battle happen one way or the other? Do you have any way of stopping it?
I think you have a way of stopping it. I don't know if I do. I mean, we could get to the end game before everybody else, to be fair. It's just me and you here. But I can't promise that we'd make it out alive.
With that, he will dissolve. He will take a step away from you, and you'll return back to the cave. And he'll dissolve the cave around him, returning you back to the open air. And he'll see Camelot in the distance and say, "Bring me there. I need more information. It sounds like war is on the horizon. And I need to know what I can do to stop it or win it. You say that this Crimson King is on the side of the ruling, I don't want to say ruling class, but the police, the wealthy, the owners of the city, the kingpins, and the queens on their throne.
Yep.
Bring me there."
All right. I'm just warning you. I don't know if he's going to let you leave. I mean, I feel like you could probably change that. I just feel like it needs a warning.
Okay. And as you leave, you start to see that the rippling power around Graham has started to slice into the ground, into rocks, into trees around you. And you, like Lexi, see the strokes of iridescence that are breaking through like scars in the world. And the two of you approach Camelot.
So, let's have like an exit word.
An exit word?
Yeah, you know, listen, have you never watched like a good movie? Like where like a good spy movie where like if you say peacock, we know we're running. If you're like, man, these peacocks are beautiful, I'm like, we're getting the hell out of Dodge.
So you want a safe word of peacock?
All right, well, you could to be fair, Graham, you could pick a better one. I was just using that as an example, but yeah, I mean, if that's one you're comfortable with. Also, safe word makes it sound weird, and you're my brother, so like I get the mentality, but can we just call it something different?
Do you have a better word in mind?
Exit phrase.
I meant for the phrase.
Wow. No. I don't know. What's your favorite color?
Orange?
Orange it is. Like any, like, well, here, we gotta ask details. Like any variation on orange? Like, are we talking like, oh man, this looks like a delicious orange? Or are we talking like, man, that orange color is, or just any variation? Just if I hear the word orange come out of your mouth, it's go time.
Something tells me I won't be saying it very frequently, so any variation should be fine.
All right. Do you need like a code name?
Just call me
No.
Graham.
Okay. Oh, right. This is gonna go great.
I'm trying to think what would happen next. Any suggestions from the crew? What you want to see?
Sounds like we're all kind of converging.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a conversation that Lexi wants to have with Graham, but I don't think that's going to happen until after he gets to the castle.
I say that we take a 5-minute break so I can figure some stuff out, and then we'll be back in the action. So please join us. I will promise I'll keep this to just 5 minutes. So see you all shortly. Hello and welcome back to Madness Calls It Forth for our penultimate episode in the series based on Knights of Paynetown. Last we left, Ami had just spoken with Graham, who is a young, flourishing, legendary rift, and the four are converging on Camelot. John, through one fault or one flaw or another, you miss Ami on the way back, but you do, however, run into Celine and Lexi as they approach you from a distance. You don't recognize them at first. They are wearing very medieval clothing in contrast with your own. And you can tell that between the sirens and the raging of soldiers on the Albion side, that a battle is imminent. What do you do?
Hey, hail and well met. You made it just in time for the shit to hit the fan.
Would have been here sooner, but bloodsuckers.
Yeah, well, war's about to happen, which is exactly what Corbin's wanting. Fucking Arthur doesn't understand that that's exactly what he's wanting, what he's been building up to. And also, I think he's looking for a weapon. That Ami wasn't really clear with me about who it was, but I'm pretty sure we all know who it was.
And literally, Lexi is gonna look at Celine.
Do we think it's me?
A weapon. Something happened with Graham. Celine had a vision.
Yeah, I think Ami did too. But the point is, if war breaks out, that's exactly what they're wanting. What is it that Corbin is all about? Strife, chaos, people fighting people? That's what this is. Which means he's pulling strings on both sides of the battlefield.
We need to talk to him. Well, not to Corbin.
No.
Cyrus.
I mean, didn't Cyrus say that Corbin killed his family? That leaves a mark.
That it does. And I think there's just like a strong breeze through Albion at that moment, and that's for Lexi when like that not mist, but like that visage dissipates to ash. And it's just her in a nice suit.
Hey, look it. We're doing it.
Celine, how are you? Are you still in the grips of Albion?
I am still, I wouldn't say grips, but I am still with the leather breastplate over, like, it's not very medieval, it's just vaguely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I am still wearing that, and I still have, like, my sword in hand. But
Which does fit the vibe quite nicely.
Yes. And I will just kind of give a little look at her losing this visage, and then, any ideas on how we stop this?
I mean, if he's hurting, he's been afflicted by whatever it is that Corbin does to people. You know, we've experienced that firsthand.
Yes.
What if we fix it?
How do we fix other than convincing him that by doing this he's only letting Corbin win?
Oh, anyone happen to know someone that can warp reality?
Warp reality? No. But if we do know someone that can move through time and space.
Yeah. Let's hope we can meet up with them in time.
Perhaps, and I'm sorry if this is insensitive, Father, but perhaps there is something that you could say to Cyrus. Since his pain is something that I know you share.
Yeah, it's easier said than done. I ain't exactly healed myself.
None of us are.
Yeah.
But we don't have to get him healed. We just need to get him on the right path.
Or at least not on the path that lets Corbin win.
Yeah. We should probably stop talking and start moving.
Yes, let's go.
As you do, you see something come hurtling over the wall into Albion, and it smashes into the earth and blasts the three of you onto your asses. And we'll say, Lexi, probably you're the strongest at this point. As it smashes into the ground and explodes, instead of a fireball, it seems to shift all of the illusions around you, and sections of the buildings and the trees transform back into what they should look like in the city. And so there's this weird anachronistic vision of pastoral England, all of a sudden modern day city, and then back to pastoral England, as if the mist is slowly has taken back that section of Albion, and as three of you sit there, your memories get hazy, and you know that that the battle has begun for Albion. What do you do?
I will just shake my head and say we need to hurry.
I'm gonna leg it.
Ami, you've arrived back at Camelot with Graham. Do you speak to Calvin Cirrus, or do you keep him to yourself for now?
Well, he had requested to go there, so I'm not going to deny him that.
I won't monologue again about Calvin's plans, but when you get there, Calvin is over the moon. He's very excited, and he is doing his best to get Graham on his side to fight in the battle against the Crimson King, and to the gatekeepers and the police officers on the other side of the bridge.
I will listen and interject accordingly with truths.
Do you attempt to persuade him to join in with Calvin or to stay on as a third party?
I try to keep him as neutral as possible, but not trying to be intrusive, obviously, to his choices. But yeah, I mean,
Can you
she's
roll
going-
to convince him to stay neutral?
all right.
Let me know what power tags you're using for this, if any. You have also you've had premonitions about what'll happen in this war, so you can feel free to follow them or not.
Yeah, that's gonna kind of. I was just gonna use. Can you feel it? And then flashes of what was here. You know what I mean? Like kind of the idea of like, wait a second. As the way that I see it is that as Graham and Cyrus are talking, Calvin Cyrus, right? As they're chatting.
I've been saying Cyrus just not to confuse him with episode 1 Cyrus, but
Oh, check. All right. So as Cyrus and him are chatting, Ami will be like interjecting, probably to a degree of like kind of frustratingly to Cyrus, with what she hopes to be is like enough information in a vision for him to see that like, hey man, there's another part to this that neither side is seeing. And she will make it also very aware that she was the only person she would make it aware to would be probably to Graham that she was hit with this dolorous stroke.
Sorry, what was that last thing again?
I would allow him the vision of me getting hit with the dolorous stroke so he would know that I am
Okay.
also struggling. And I got a 9.
Excellent.
Wait, can I help?
I also have a +2 from chat.
Do you want to include
Yeah.
it? Okay. On a 10 plus, they will change their agenda to include yours, at least for the time being. He listens to everything that Calvin has to say, and you can tell that Calvin is getting more and more frustrated as you interject more and more, and he sees that Graham is not quite buying the pitch. And once all the talking is over, Graham tells him, "No, I cannot join your crusade." And in a fury, you see Calvin change from a straightforward and businesslike and he's trying his best to be a good person. You see him rage against Graham, swearing, "How dare you? We could have done this together." And he pulls a sword on Graham, and as soon as he tries to even raise it against Graham, you see a pulse of emotional protection as it spreads out across Camelot. And forces Calvin back against a wall. You see a glowing in Graham's eyes as he turns back towards you. And he, for an instant, seems almost human as he tries to warn you and says, "I think this is the code orange, Ami," before his powers almost consume him completely. And the walls around Camelot start shifting. But he's not in control. He is dangerous. The walls are breaking and crumbling. They are morphing back from stone into the halls of Pearson 63. But you can tell that Graham is not in control of his powers right now. He is new. He is too new to them. And I'll say that the three of you have finally returned to Camelot and see the walls of Precinct 63 shift in and out of focus. Just as one of those grenades from the other side slams into the side of the building and permanently transforms it back into a police station, that corner of the building is now consumed by mist. What do you do? A question for all four of you, since you're all back together. Well, sort of back together again. Ami's inside, the rest of you are outside.
As a reaction, can Ami grab his hand and out the back door?
Sure. I mean, as you
attempt to getting him. What she's attempting to do is get him to a safe space.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is this is sort of a stretch, but I'll ask you to roll to go toe-to-toe, because you are trying to drag him along with you.
Yep. I'm gonna use some tags.
I think that's a perfectly reasonable move to ask for here.
Mild success.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you choose one of the items from go toe-to-toe. Let me know what you want to do.
Can I just manage to achieve my goal?
Sure.
All right.
What I will say is that interesting. Hold on. Okay, I'll save this for later, but basically, you're gonna pull him out of the building, but flat powers are still fluctuating wildly around you, and you're finding it difficult to see clearly because you're not sure what is real and what is not. The three, Celine, Lexi, and John, what are you doing? Feel free to narrate as you see fit.
Assuming that we don't see the two of them come out.
I'll say it's happening at the same time.
Dramatically appropriate.
I mean, if you want to.
My feeling is that we'd be going to find Cirrus and presumably the other two by the most direct means possible.
Yeah.
Okay, we will say that he is atop a horse. He has fled the scene as soon as Graham has kind of reverberated power, and he has with him a sword, a crown. He looks exactly like a king. He is dark skin and flowing robes, and he is ready to take on the opposing army. You rush in just in time to see him there as he is shouting orders to his soldiers. And you watch as the Camelot, the castle behind you, ripples in and out of the mist.
Cirrus! We need to talk. Stand down.
Time to talk is over. We must prevail against the Crimson King and his armies.
If you do this, you're just giving the king what he wants.
We'll suffer either way. Don't you understand? I'm not giving him what he wants. I will have my daughter back. I will end this brutal war once and for all with a successful campaign against him.
You do understand death is death.
Not for me. Not for him.
What makes you so special? The fucking crown?
I've lived again and again. I am the once and future king, King Arthur, and he has brought me back again and again.
Then hear this.
I
If
will-
death isn't death for you, it's death for all of them. Every single one.
It can end
We
today.
don't get to come back! When we lose, that's it. You're the only one coming back again and again. So whatever gift he's given you, whatever curse, you don't win it by fighting him. You feed him by fighting him. We all hurt, Cirrus.
I don't
Some
need,
of us have the courage to face it.
I don't need you. I will take him down once and for all. And if it weren't for that stupid woman, I'd have my Merlin at my side. But I will take him down one way or another. You understand? If you want to do something, if you want to try to break his dolorous stroke, it will require a stop holding back of a no return sacrifice from one of the three of you. Or from Ami if she wants to bring Ami back into the scene. If Chrissy wants to bring Ami back into the scene.
I'm fine either way. I just don't know where they're at in comparison to where we are.
You can
mean, we
narrate that
could
how
all-
you like. If you say that you arrive at the same place altogether, that's fine with me. If you'd rather keep Graham to yourself, then say that you're not in the same place. I don't really have I don't have a correct answer here. So it's whatever you think is most dramatically interesting for the scene.
I think John will stop holding back.
Yeah, go for it.
And he like steps in front of the horse. And he looks at me, he's like, he keeps coming back. You'll keep coming back. You understand that's a cycle. What happens in that cycle though before you guys come back? One of you dies. Why is that? Because you kill each other. Why? Because you want to fight. Because you have to fight. Because you have to get that revenge. Because some asshole killed your kid. Some asshole took your life away. Guess what? Some asshole took my life away. Some asshole took my kid away. And I could have kept that cycle going. Death meets death. Eye for an eye. But you know what they say? Eye for an eye? You've got nothing but blind people at the end of the day. You want to know what I did? I didn't fight. I didn't get revenge. You want to know what I did with the son of a bitch that took my family away from me? I teamed up with them to save the fucking city. And I point at Lexi. Because the only time we can do something is when we're not doing stronger, when we're not fighting harder. It's when we're being better. So open your fucking eyes and see that you're no better than Corbin Dallas. God, you know what? You might even be fucking worse. So do you want to be better?
To stop holding back, you're going to use your powers in a new and unseen, in a never seen before way. How is this manifesting for Father John?
Can I offer an image?
Sure. If
I'm
Ikaj is
asking
okay with it. yeah.
Ikaj.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I
I think as soon as I pointed to you.
Is there perhaps a break in the clouds as this happens?
What do you mean by clouds?
Like a beam of sunlight, specifically.
Oh, okay, I see what you
Like
mean.
on you and me and Cirrus.
We can say that if you want to.
I don't know what that would do, but that's the image that comes to mind as you try to do it. Is that
So-
what you want?
You're looking for heavenly light vibes here. I see it.
Just so.
Let's go even theatrical. Spotlights. As soon as I start pointing to myself, I point to him, and then I point to Lexi.
Yeah. Yeah. Does everything else fade black?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Even the sounds of the soldiers as they yell, the police and riot gear kind of slowly fade away. You can tell that it's still happening around you, but you are in basically spotlight with Calvin Cirrus alone in this moment. And are you trying to tap into like Job's like religious fervor almost, his true belief in the good in the world?
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask that you roll a stop holding back move.
And what do I add to that, or is there anything I add to that?
When you use your powers in a new and never before seen way or scale, tell the MC what you hope to achieve. The MC will tell you the sacrifice it'll take from you, then roll plus logos. So for a no return sacrifice, you will on a 7 to 9 replace one theme, or on a 10 plus you'll mark fade or crack and burn all the power tags on one of your themes.
So logos, not.
Plus the logos. So the number of logos you have, I think, is 3 or so right now.
Yeah, I think I've got the most at 3.
How much fade and or crack do you have on your mythos theme?
On my mythos, I've got just 1 attention on my mythos.
You don't have any fade or crack?
Nope, I cleared it out last time.
Oh, very good. Okay. So you'll be replacing a logos theme, or you will be adding fade to that theme. Feel free to roll whenever you're ready.
Alright, is this by chance anything that people could help with?
We can wait to see if chat can help, or Lexi can add to it if you also want to roll change the game.
Can Ami offer her help?
Yeah, they can help.
Or does
points
she
if
have
people
to be
it.
there?
She'd have to be there in the moment because you have to narrate what you're doing with it.
I will roll change the game,
Okay.
since you'll allow it.
Oh wait, will I? Hold on.
I'm just terrified with the last time I tried stop holding back. Like, hands shaking at this point. So.
Okay, I'll allow it. Depends what what you're going to do though.
I think,
Oh, I'm sorry. No, when you stop holding back, you do not invoke any tags or statuses, so I cannot ask you to change the game for.
Oh, okay.
And I can't add any of my
Look at me
juice.
looking at the rules for once. Wild.
Can I add any of my juice?
No. So it's no tags, no statuses.
Alright, so just straight through.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, say a prayer. 14!
Damn.
So that's an 11 without me adding anything.
On a 10 plus, you're going to mark fade or crack on your mythos power set and burn all the power tags on that theme.
Wait, I can do it on a logos theme?
No, I told you before
Okay.
you rolled. Oh wait, no, you're right. Wait, no, I said you'd replace a theme if it was logos. So because you rolled a 10, I'm gonna ask you to mark all. You're gonna burn all of the power tags on your mythos theme, and you're gonna mark fade or crack. I forget what it's called on mythos because for some reason it's different. I think it's fade, but because you rolled a 10, you do succeed in what you wanted to do. And so for the rest of this scene, and optionally if anyone else wants to do it, I'll allow it to be more permanent. He is free from the effects of a dolorous stroke.
Somebody else to do it, as in somebody else is going to have to stop holding back for him to stay this way?
Yeah, so again, with the rules, for the rest of this scene, for the rest of the episode at least, he is no longer on the effect of it, but it will creep back, just like the other 2 Grail notes that you've seen. But
So I'm gonna basically tell him, like, war is not the way we do this. If you want to do this, we got to get the Corbin. So if we have a way of getting to him directly, I don't know if anyone's listening that could do that, but we get to him, and He keeps coming back because of his power. Let's get rid of his fucking power. Let's close the mist on him for good.
You see as you bring in this burst of heavenly light, that as it illuminates Calvin, his whole look dissolves around him, and he is standing in his irregular city clothes. In fact, the steps that he is standing by, the horse is gone, and he looks completely normal again. The area around you has transformed back into the city as we know it. And so, in that instant, you see him look at you and realize that everything you've said thus far is true. And he falls into your arms, John. He is weeping, and he looks at the destruction that he sees all around you. What have I wrought?
It's a lot easier to lash out in pain than it is to face it and move past it. They'll listen to you.
GM.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this would be stop holding back, but I would like to attempt to knight him.
Okay. I think it would be, because it's... I mean,
Okay, I
technically
wasn't
we've seen
sure.
this once before, but you're trying to use it in a new way. So, I mean, if you want to knight him as a member of your round table, which is funny because he's King Arthur, then feel free. You will have to do the same thing. It's a no return. Stop holding back.
Why do I not see that move anywhere?
It's a cinematic.
Oh,
It's a magic move.
yeah, I will just kind of lift my sword, pointed it kind of towards him, but still at the ground. And say, Sir Cirrus, would you like to take your pain and hurt and use it to fight for good and prevent anyone else from having to experience it themselves?
Do you think you can find my daughter?
I will do everything in my power to do so, and you will help if you will join us.
He still has control over me, you understand, but I will do everything I can.
Please kneel, Sir Cirrus.
He'll take a knee.
I will do the lift of the sword, tapping on the shoulders. I name you.
Hold on. Before you name him, you're gonna have to roll for me to see if it works.
Yep. Okay. An 8, mild success. Not more powerful than Corbin.
Okay. You feel the power course through through Excalibur, and it works a little too well. Do you want something fun? Because it's our second to last episode.
Sure. Go for it. Hit me.
You feel... Actually, I'll say it to the others first. You watch as Celine does this. And she is still in the kind of leather armor that she was in previously. She is not quite... pushed back Albion. But in the moment that she knights Sir Cirrus, you see a crown upon her head. Since you rolled a mixed success, you will have to replace one of your themes, and you will get a mythos theme related to King Arthur. As Calvin Cirrus reverts to, as you were about to say,
I didn't have a fancy name. Shit.
it's fine, just say
I was
it.
just gonna say Sir Cirrus, a knight of the Round Table.
And as you tap in the third time, he bows his head and looks at you as
Right.
his new queen.
Shit. Okay.
Oops.
Oops.
However, because you are a little new to this, Albion is going to slowly fade around you. And your clothes are the first thing to change as the area that once was Albion slowly starts to fade. Ami, what are you doing with Graham right now?
I would imagine we kind of like hit a backdoor exit, kind of like exit stage left as quickly as possible. I'm going to pull him kind of to like a quieter side of, not quiet, but like a kind of quieter spot.
Somewhere secluded.
And kind of frantically to a degree. Yeah, somewhere secluded. And kind of frantically just, okay, so we've got to find everyone else, but really quickly. Graham, do you think we could take like a quick 2 minutes? Can you try something for me, bud?
What do you wish?
Well, I mean, that's a loaded question. I'm a broke 20-something. I wish a lot of things, Graham, but mostly... You know how I showed you when he, basically, I just need to see if you have the ability to just cure this thing that he does to people.
Interesting.
In Ami's head, she does not want him rushing into battle with everyone under the assumption that he can, like, fix the Crimson King if that is not going to be the case, right? Like, so she's like, is this actually possible? And she's willing to risk whatever she needs to do it.
What I will say is you're kind of asking him to do a move that only a player would normally have. And so I will give him the ability to stop holding back and try to resolve your dolorous stroke. However, it'll be an ultimate sacrifice for a stop holding back
On his part or mine?
on his part.
But I want it on mine.
If you can find a way to use your powers to do this. I was debating it being yours, but
So, like, in Ami's head, in Chrissy, the player's brain, it would be an uncomfortable bear hug where it's like a weird amalgamation of both of what they do. So she does not want him taking the brunt of it. She would prefer to take the brunt of it.
So is this like you two traveling through time?
Kind of, yeah. And then, like, him shifting things around us is how my space brain thinks of it.
what I'll say is that it's still an ultimate sacrifice for him, but you're gonna roll it.
Fuck. Feels wrong. Why can't it just be me? An ultimate sacrifice means he dies.
Well, he is killed, destroyed, or transformed forever for now. If you roll a 7 through 9. On a 10 plus, he will quote unquote replace one theme. But I'll use that in a different way.
Chrissy, the player, doesn't want to risk it. So,
But does Ami the character?
well, Ami, the character, would do it. Chrissy, the player, feels like a bad move because this is like.
We're at endgame at this point. If you want to do wild things, go for it.
I can at least speak for me, the player. I want to see you do this because whether you succeed or fail, the outcome is interesting and pushes all of our stories forward.
Bleh. All right. Yeah, she's just gonna do it.
You're gonna roll +1 for me.
+1. I don't get to use any of my tags.
Correct.
Shit.
He is a legendary rift, so he would have 3 mythos, so therefore he only has 1 logos left.
All right. Now, where's the other one?
Other what?
Where's the move? What's the move called?
It's a cinematic move, so it's in the second tab. It's called
Yeah.
Stop Holding Back. Just add 1
okay.
power to it and then roll it.
All right. There's a 10. I'll take it.
There we go.
My whole body was.
That's as good as that can go, baby.
So you were about to describe it a second ago. Describe what this looks like. What does it look like when Merlin embraces you and strips you of your dolorous stroke?
Yeah, I would imagine it looking like something out of like a Star Trek show where it's just space and time kind of just like split. And Ami would probably have done it impulsively in like a massive bear hug. And as it happened, would have shouted like "Code Orange," and then just closed her eyes and then opened them as it all happened.
The 3 of you have just named Calvin Cirrus, and the light around you and Father John has subsided when suddenly there is a crack of thunder from behind you. And it starts to rain suddenly, and you watch as the sky lights up with this burst of light, and actually, let's as soon as this as lightning strikes and the rain starts to fall, Ami and Graham hook up. That's not the word I meant. Connect, and a burst of energy spreads out across the city. It annihilates Albion and returns it back to the city it was, and it pushes back the gatekeepers and the police force on the other side of the bridge. And Ami, you you feel like you're back at that moment where you're face to face with Corbin Payne, and he shifts time just slightly. So instead of taking the hit, you just nearly avoid it, and you have not been inflicted with the dolorous stroke. And just as quickly as it has started, it's over. And the two of you separate and look up above you and see a large tear across the sky. An iridescent shine is peering through, and your second premonition comes true, Chrissy. Instead of the sky being red and deserted, monsters of all kinds pour out from the rift in the sky, the rip in the sky, as if bleeding chaos. And this rupture of the mist seals back up again pretty quickly, but unknowable evil has just escaped. And as the rain slowly subsides, you don't know what that rupture has done, but you know that it'll change the city irrevocably. But for now, you know, Corbin Payne no longer has control over you. And Celine, you are more connected with your mythos than before. John, you have successfully turned someone from Corbin's control. And as the scene fades, we watch as Camelot fades as well, and the five of you are standing in the rain-soaked ground of an ordinary-looking city.
Do we get an opportunity to talk to Ami and Graham before we close this shop up?
Totally. You see each other across the way. For some reason, the way the city's built normally, the five of you are all on the same street. And you can tell, just because you've been in this air of the mist being so thin, that it's almost like all of a sudden trying to breathe while the air is cloudy, or you're in the middle of smoke. It tries its best to choke you, and the mist comes in and starts cleaning up the messes. But because you're riffs, the five of you it dissipates quickly around you, and the city's starting to look a lot more like you remember it being.
Graham. Ami. You're both okay.
You are both okay, right?
Ami will look at Graham.
I think so. What am I?
You're part of this now. He didn't go to war. And that's directed at Ami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Lexi's gonna pull the two of you in very close and hug you real hard. And with her head between the both of yous, just whisper, I couldn't be prouder of both of you.
Ami is going to whisper, "You're a wizard, Harry." And that's all.
Oh, Lord.
It's Lexi's turn to devolve into a fit of giggles. And she laughs, and she releases the two of you, and she wipes at her eyes.
To be honest, though, I gotta get myself a set of those wizard robes. That was pretty sick.
Complete confusion from Lexi.
All right. So, new plan. And I'll make eye contact with Ami as I say it with a grin. On second thought, let's not go to Camelot. 'Tis a silly place.
Agreed.
Dun, 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 dun. No, we're not doing the song? Alright.
I think we'd get hit with a copyright strike. I know that Proper has it on soundboard. That's not the issue.
Yeah, that's the issue, yeah.
Yeah.
This is where we're going to wrap up this particular case. So if there's anything else you want to do before we close, feel free.
Yeah, there's one last thing. Lexi's gonna go, oh shit. And she's gonna reach into her jacket. She's gonna pull out the box. And she's gonna look at Celine and go, we have news. And the ring box opens and she's gonna put it on. And then she's gonna look at it in the post sudden rain light. And if you'll let me, we get a picture of her hands, and in the background, a rainbow.
I was going to say we get a rainbow lens flare, but that's appropriate too.
Yeah. Not like a whole rainbow, not in a corny way, but just like...
A glimmer as the misty air shivers in the sun, yeah. I like that.
It was just raining.
It was just raining. That's all I got.
Anything else? Okay. Luca, you are first. If you want to tell us what you're up to, give us a quick outro and tell us what Celine is doing.
Celine is, I don't know, feeling pretty good. I feel like there's a lot of stress involved with, oh shit, I didn't mean for that to happen, but, she's embracing things, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know what she's gonna be doing other than trying to, if there is even a chance, try and get herself married. But as for me, the person Luca, tomorrow you can find me playing a rabbit, essentially. A shifter on Fragments, our weekly Demiplanes campaign, at 11:30 Pacific, I believe. And then next week, same thing, and then followed by Variants. Harper's or Dark Echoes is not happening this week, so it's just Fragments and then Fragments again and Variants. That's it for me.
Ami, your turn.
Hello.
Oh, Chrissy, your turn.
Yeah. I'm Chrissy. I played Ami Ortelia. What is Ami doing? Probably making a lot of weird jokes that don't quite hit with her new brother. She probably tries to introduce him to like Dad, with the preface of like he's a real douchebag. Don't think too much into it. That sort of thing.
Do you introduce Graham as his son or just as someone you know?
I would probably start with just like as someone I know, and then like be like, it's weird. It's like you guys have the same eyes. Just like things like that. And then as we're like sitting at dinner with like the rest of my family, say something really uncomfortable. As long as Graham was okay with it, I wouldn't do it if he wasn't.
Oh, he'll be uncomfortable, but it's fine.
And other than that, she'll just continue to... Well, now, I don't know, do I still have my relic?
I was going to say, I think that because you got your relic, because you got the Dollar Stroke, I would say you can revert back to your old Logos theme, or you can grab a new one. If you think that Ami has been transformed in some way and is no longer going to cling to that old vestige of her life, you can give her new Logos theme.
Yeah, I think I'll have to do some thinking on that.
Okay.
And then, where you can find me, this is my busy week. So you'll see me tomorrow in the evening at, I believe it's 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm not sure, something like that, for Oath Sworn. And then again on Thursday for Queen's Gambit. And then in 2 weeks, the same thing. Same rules apply. So on and so forth, indefinitely.
Someone will spam schedule in the chat, hopefully.
Next up.
Vermin, your turn.
That's me. Hello, I'm Legendary Vermin. You can find me as Legendary Vermin on all the places on the internet that matter, which is, of course, Itch, Twitch, Twitter, and I suppose YouTube. Stuff that I have coming up. If you're ever curious and can't remember all this, go to legendaryvermin.com/live. The next thing on my calendar is on the 5th. I am playing Alchemistresses with the creators as part of TBK Coven. Really excited about that because I am contributing stuff to that upcoming Kickstarter.
I didn't know that.
And
That's
I'm
cool.
also going to be in the actual play. And also, the game's really good. And we have the creators on. So tons of reasons to be there. Come join us for a good time with a lot of magical girl goodness. I hear there's going to be big fish and krakens, so if that's stuff you're excited about, hell yeah. After that, on Wednesday, June 8th, Hubris of Man has its, I believe, our finale episode. Come join us if you like the Alien RPG, or if you want to see a big, strong lady, me, tear the arms off of robots with a hook shot, basically. Yeah. Besides that, just keep an eye out on my Twitter for whenever we announce the final episode of Against the Lights over on Neon Lights Roleplay. We are having an encore episode because there's just a little bit more roleplay we want to squeak out of that game. And it will be your absolute last chance to see me as a big bird lady until I find a reason to play a big bird lady again. That's all I got.
You're up next, Ekash.
All right, hey folks, Ekaj the Orc here. I think as far as it goes to John, I honestly think he is just feeling so much better and relieved having heard Ami crack a joke and quote a movie like the two of them used to do together. So I think he's feeling a little better, hoping that she's doing better now because of that. And then I guess we're going to see what happens next week. But as far as where you can find me, not in a whole lot, just in a whole lot of good stuff. Next week, I will be in Harper's Variants, DM'd by our very own Luca. And then come on by for, I guess, the finale of Madness Calls It Forth. And beyond that and variants, we'll just see where I'm able to sneak my way into what games. And if you're curious about me directly, you can find me as eKashiork on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. But more importantly, you can find me on our Discord. Come and join and see what memes are made in the meantime.
Excellent. My name is Prep Nerdy. I'm the Game Master for Madness Calls It Forth. I'm also a staff member at TPK Roleplay. I am a designer, a player, a game master, sometimes a game designer. You can find my stuff on itch as well as all the other games made by TPK members on our itch page. You can find my game Generational and Cataclysmal on my itch page, and I recently released Generational as a story synth game that you can find on the story synth page in the gallery there. I hope you will join us for our finale episode in 4 weeks' time on June 27th. Should be interesting. And 4 weeks after that, in the same time slot as Madness Calls It Forth, I will be starting my Session Zero and world building game show called Nautilus. That is surfacing on July 25th, I believe. And it should be a good time because we're playing all kind of world-building collaborative storytelling games. It should be a good time. So, without further ado, I have a short epilogue for you. And I just need to set the scene properly. You are finally asleep at home, Celine. When a familiar sound starts playing over the landscape of your dream, and you find yourself face to face with Lexi at the table in the hive. This time, your proposal goes exactly as you planned it. But when Lexi goes to speak, it's not her voice. And you look down at the ring in your hand and look back at Lexi and see that it is no longer her. It is a girl with dark hair and ruby red lips that you remember from a dream many months ago. And she says, "Hello, Celine. I think it's time we talk." And the scene fades to black. Good night, everyone. And we'll see you for the finale in 4 weeks' time.